Hi, I'm Jackie Barrera. I go to Salem High School Young Life, and I'm here to share a little bit about my testimony. So, I grew up as a Catholic girl with my family, me, my mom, my dad, and my older brother. At 5 years old, my mom and my dad suddenly split. As a 5-year-old, I never saw any of this coming, and it seemed like something disastrous. Later on, my dad was deported, and I never knew that that night would be the last night I saw my dad in the next 10 years. Growing up, my brother had a really hard time adjusting to it all, and he constantly reminded me that maybe if we were good enough, my dad would have stayed. Maybe if we tried harder, my dad would have come back and lived his life with us, and that he wouldn't have left us. So growing up into middle school, I tried to be as perfect as possible in the hopes that my dad would come back. I would be the 4.0 kid, I'd be the perfect student, the perfect daughter, the perfect friend. I had a new father figure who was one of my history teachers. I looked up for him for everything. He would help me with my anxiety and the feeling of not being enough, and he knew that I had struggled with a lot of things. I just never talked to him about it, but he had the feeling. But one day, he passed away, and I never saw that coming either. It was just another shock in my life that I wasn't ready for. I told my best friend about it, and she just reminded me that, hey, at least I have a roof above my head. At least I have my stepdad. At least I have a good mom. And although she had reminded me about all of this, it didn't feel enough. I felt depressed, and I felt like I had lost everything. That again, I lost another dad. That I would never have a perfect dad. I would never have a dad who would accept me and who would want me. In the midst of all this pain, I found this group called Wildlife in about 6th grade. And fortunately for me, I knew someone who was a leader. His name was Carlos Morales Oyer Fernandez. If you guys know him at all, he's a really great, funny guy. I actually grew up with him, and so this is a great connection for me to start Young Life and Wildlife, something I never knew I'd be doing up until this day. All my leaders made great connections with me. They made me feel like we were family, and I was just comfortable and accepted, and I felt like I could tell them everything. And then I went to camp, and I met the Lord there. I re-met him in middle school. I thought that God put me through a lot of pain, and he didn't want to see me, and he didn't want to talk to me, and he wasn't there for me. But my Young Life leaders showed me that through everything that I had gone through, God was still there. He was pushing me so that I would learn and so that I would grow. That all this pain wasn't for anything. That one day I would be able to help other people going through the exact same pain. After many years going through Wildlife and Young Life, and now this being my senior year, I hope to one day become a Young Life leader myself, to go through everything my Young Life leaders did, and to put myself in those kids' lives, and middle school kids' lives, and high school kids' lives, and to understand what they're going through, and to be able to help them the way my leaders once did. My dad is my God. John 15:12-13. This is my commandment. Love one another as I have loved you. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends.